Saul with the Stock Market Trading Watch list for Monday, August 15th, 2011. Take a look at some indexes and have a couple of stocks to watch. Let's start with the VIX here. The VIX pulled in as the market creeped higher on Friday, so back in the mid-30s. Still think it gets up and takes up as high as the market pulls in. Okay, here's the SPY, and I did the whole SPY video on this blog, tinystmv.blogspot.com, in case you don't know the site name. Most of you people watch the video off the blog, but just in case you don't. Here's the 10-day moving average here. I'm watching this as potential resistance as well as a 38% retracement in the gap fill. So 119.83 through 120.08. Let's look at the NASDAQ 100. All right. So back above the June lows, but just barely. Rejected some of the higher prices. Gap has been filled. Okay, that filled at 2194.38. Then you have the 10-day at 2200, and then the 20 EMA at 2250. Those are the next levels to watch. The Russell, all right, not acting as strong as the NASDAQ 100, or the S&P. You can see more or less had a real pause day. I mean, I guess you could say all the candles on Friday were pause days because they really didn't do anything, didn't go anywhere, and they just went a little higher and closed below the open. But you know, this one stayed basically in the range of the week. Okay, so I mean, I guess it may have taken it out by a little bit, but it's short and hold there. Watch the 10-day moving average, and also have the 20 EMA above there. Let's look at the SOX. Okay, still think this is a bear flag. It held the 10-day for now, but if it keeps going higher, watch that 20 EMA as potential stronger resistance. Banks. Okay, had a nice push up. It looked like, hey, we were going to get some continuation from Thursday, but nasty rejection. So, you know, this is not a good sign here. Banks do not look strong. Brokers, neither. They broke out and then they came back down. So, kind of a narrow range candle there. So wait and see on those. OIH. Okay, volume low. A little doji day. Got the gap fill here at 135.82, and then the 10-day at 137.42. Gold. See what gold's doing. I only have delayed data, but gold popped up over 1,800, and since then it's kind of been resting. See the GLD. Okay, looks like a pullback in an uptrend for now. Watch these moving averages. SLV. Okay, consolidating here. Well, let's see if something pushes out of here. All right, let's look at some stocks. I want to start out with UUP. Okay, and the UUP is the Power Shares US Dollar Bull. So for those of you who read my blog, I talked about the euro being in a situation where a big move is brewing. The dollar also has a similar pattern, although probably not the same as the euro, but you can see here a little arrowhead, I guess you'd call it. The UUP looks like it is ready to move one way or the other. So I'd be watching this one carefully and seeing if it can get a little fire behind it one way or the other when it finally does break. Now, you do have to respect the bigger range. So you have this low down here at 20.84. You have this high up here at 21.86. So you got about a buck range. And a move out of here could, you know, most likely test the first range levels, but will they get a break above or below the wider range? That remains to be seen. Let's take a look at Apple. Okay, Apple above the moving averages again. So I was watching this 20 EMA to come in as resistance. No confirmation. Now it's above, but volume is lame. So this still looks corrective. Of course, it is being above the moving averages like this. Can't really get biased to the short side here. Okay, yeah, my overall view of the market is I think that we're going back down for a test. I don't know if it's going to be right away or we can consolidate for a little bit. So, you want to look at the high beta stocks to get the most bang for your buck, but Apple's above the moving averages. So this one's kind of tough here. But I'd definitely be keeping my eye on that if the market does turn back down. Google, okay, not acting so hot. You got the 20 EMA, you got the 200-day moving average, you got the 10-day, and then you got the 50 and the 89 below. Looks like it was a lot of cut through the 89, so I would just not even watch this. Looks like you got the 50 on the downside and then these three on the upside. See if we get a little ping pong. Baidu. Okay, above the moving averages here. So once again, this is tough, but I mean, real lame volume on this move. So I don't know how much upside it'll have in it, but to me it looks like it wants to trade lower. But once again, above the moving average is very tough to have a bullish bias. I mean, I can never have a bullish bias, even if we're over the 200-day, never mind all four of those moving averages. Here's Goldman. Okay, still doesn't look too hot. Watch these moving averages as potential resistance. All right, I want to break down a stock today. Somebody sent me an email and asked me to look at, and I gave them a quick review via email, but I had to go to my goddaughter's second birthday party, and we just got back, so I didn't have time to go through it with him, everything that I wanted to talk to him about, but I want to do it on the video because he's a video watcher, so that's great. All right, so let's take a look here at Cena. Cena has earnings. Please check this because I'm going on his word. I'm not saying he's a liar, but I believe he said he thinks it's Wednesday after the close. Okay, but just check yourself because I didn't check. So if that's the case, then let's watch this for a potential long. Now we're above the moving averages here, but I don't like the way we closed below the open, and I'm not real interested after this nice push higher here. I mean, it went from 82 up to 107 in a couple of days. So I'm not really interested, or I wouldn't be interested if I was taking this in just jumping in right here. All right, so here's the problem. All right, if you're playing it for an earnings trade and you're saying to yourself, I think Cena's going to go higher into earnings, well, you could take a chance here, or you could wait for a better entry. You could wait for weakness at the beginning of the week. Now, we may or may not get that, and if Cena shoots up from here, then it's like, oh, well, I waited and nothing happened. But if you want to be patient, and you want to see if this gets a pullback, then you have the 50% retracement of this swing right around the 200-day moving average, and also a measured symmetrical move. Okay, so this push down, this yellow line, would equal, grab a parallel line, would equal this push down. Okay, so that's where I got that yellow line. Okay, so the Cena moved up, it pulled back, and then it hit that high, and then it rolled over. So something mimicking this pullback would come in right about the 50% retracement and right about the 200-day moving average. Now, that's about 10 points from where it closed on Friday, but Cena does move in batches. So that could be a level to watch. Once again, I don't like using set levels. I don't like saying, okay, it's at 93. It's not what I like to do. I like to watch as it trades into that zone, and then I like to look at an intraday pattern that can be leaned against, all right? Okay, well, I'm looking at this long, but I want to make sure I have support that if it breaks, I know I'm wrong, all right? Now, there are other ways to trade it. You don't have to trade the stock. You could trade options. You could trade a spread, okay? Now, that's just one idea. And I didn't do enough due diligence on this, so I don't know how Cena trades into earnings. One thing I did say that I forgot to say at the beginning is that, this gentleman, he wrote me and he said, hey, the market's so oversold. And I said, okay, the first thing that you have to understand here is that the market, it matters, but it's a background indication here. This is actually, by looking at this, you're actually stock picking. Now, what does it mean? Well, real quick, because this is going over 10 minutes here, but, what happens is a lot of times people do a top-down approach to analyzing the market. They look at the markets first, and then they go to the sectors, and then they go to the stocks. And the theory is that a rising tide, or a tidal wave, I guess, will bring in all ships. All right, that's using the market. That's timing the market and looking for stocks that have, high beta or good correlation, etc. Okay, in this case, you're starting with the stock. You're saying to yourself, okay, this is reporting earnings on Wednesday after the close. Like I said, I think, okay, but check for yourself. So therefore, you're picking the stock first. That means the analysis on the stock has to be done first before the market, okay? And I know that may sound, well, yeah, but there's a very big difference in starting with the market down to the sector, which would be Chinese internet stocks, I guess, and then to the stock. Okay, from here, you're starting with the stock and you're using the market as a background. Okay, so while the market, the comment this gentleman made was, the market's oversold. Yeah, but Cena technically is neutral at best and may even be a little overbought here because it got a really nice sharp bounce here last week. All right, so that's just something to consider here. But anyway, if anybody has any stocks they want me to look at, I will gladly dissect them if I feel they're worthwhile. I'm not going to do penny stocks and these low volume jammies. I will gladly take the time to dissect them on this video. And I get people that they call in. I get people. Wow, whoa! I think I'm Howard Stern here. They get people. They write in. All right, and they give me, they talk to me about, can you look at this stock? Can you look at this stock? This week, barely anybody wrote in. So I don't know if I'm doing such a good job that they don't need to give me suggestions or they just got bored with me. But anyway, feel free to write in, and I will absolutely take a look at any stocks you want me to. All right? Have a great trading day on Monday. I'll talk to everybody again tomorrow.